Do you know what a $2 billion loss per day would do to the US economy? Well, unfortunately, we are about to find out exactly what might happen very soon. I want to address why. Now, I've been talking about this for the past probably 4 or 5 months, and I've been really addressing this over the past 2 months. Because at midnight on September 16th, rail workers can simply walk off the job and go on strike. What does this mean for the US economy? Well, it would be devastating. According to the Association of American Railroads, they say that the economic loss would be greater than $2 billion per day. And they say this because they say if railroads shut down and go idle, we do not have enough truckers anymore to move goods across the 49 states in which the railroads actually cover. Obviously, we're excluding Hawaii. Now, currently there's just over 115,000 Class 1 railroad employees in the United States, and they cover about 140,000 miles of rail. But here's the problem. This could all come crashing down on September 16th. That's in 6 days. Well, technically it's 7 days, but September 15th is actually the expiration because as of midnight on September 16th, everything can go idle. Now, as of right now, there are only 5 out of the 12 unions that represent about, I think it's like 21,000 employees. They have reached a voluntary agreement with the railroads. But again, that's only 21,000 employees out of the 115,000 railroad employees. That's a small percentage. Now, according to the logistics CEOs, they say that the impact of the nationwide rail strike would impact the economy far more than the port strike that happened on the West Coast. And if you remember that, it obviously made our supply chain even worse. And again, we are still feeling the effects of it. And even the American Trucking Association says this, and I quote, "Congress should take swift action to avoid a debilitating and unnecessary labor disruption that could cost the country billions each day." Now, what some find very interesting, and again, I find this very interesting as well, is that in most cases, the railroads and the trucking industry, they don't want Congress interfering with their work. But now they're saying, hey, Congress, you need to get off your butt and you got to do something. Because what we've seen is Congress has made it so difficult for railroads and for the truckers through different laws, especially state laws. It's insane. So they're making it so difficult, and now they're saying, hey, you got to pretty much come to our aid, because if you don't, well, we're going to shut down and the U.S. economy is going to be screwed. Now, obviously they say it in other words, but I'm just summing it up. Now, the entire negotiation, this is happening all because rail workers want safer working conditions and wage increases. Now, there's other things in there as well, but those are the two main ones. And if anybody here is in either is a railroad worker or a trucker, let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know what you're seeing. But again, we get it. We understand railroad workers are working an insane amount of hours, and they're not really getting paid what they should. So, as of right now, there is a wage increase on the table, and this is what it would look like. Railroad workers would receive a 14.1% wage increase. This would be immediately. Okay, immediately. They would also get a 24% compounded wage increase from 2020 to 2024, which means they would be giving money as of the first day. Now, service recognition bonuses could also be given to employees over the duration of the contract, and this would actually total about $5,000. So immediately, employees would actually get a lump sum of about $11,000. $11,000 paid immediately. The average wage worker for a railroad employee is actually about $110,000 per year. So they're going to get about 10% of that immediately. And again, that's all from past working days, not for future. So again, it's a little bit different. Now, this is such a major issue because we're actually coming into peak shipping times. That's the first thing you got to understand. We're coming into peak shipping times. which means retailers, they're expecting new product for the holiday season. They need it. Farmers rely heavily on this, on rail, because rail is responsible for transporting more than 50% of fertilizers. We know airlines rely heavily on railroads as well because they're moving airplanes and parts. It can't be done on a little truck. And without rail, the trucking industry would be overloaded. They would most likely be overworked. And according to some, they are expecting at some point they will likely go on strike if this happens. Again, it's a major concern, but this is also a $2 billion per day loss to the U.S. economy. So if you think the United States economy is doing just fine, we're doing okay. There's a lot of struggles that we're currently going through, but if this happens, that is when a true and a real economic collapse is going to begin. So again, just understand, a railroad strike is only going to be that straw on the camel's back that breaks it. Okay? That's what we're going to see. This is a major issue. I promise, as we get more information on what's going on here, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.